Monday starts with 5 meeting invites piled on top of the work you were hired to complete. The first important task is often delayed by the need to attend these meetings. Emails pile up, further complicating the day's agenda. By mid-morning, the original work plan's overshadowed by urgent emails. Afternoon is spent responding to these emails rather than on the initial tasks. The day ends with more tasks added to the already long list for the next Monday. Team members report feeling overwhelmed by the constant influx of meetings and emails. Managers acknowledge the issue, but struggle to find a balance between meetings and productivity. Improving time management skills becomes a priority for many employees. Companies explore new tools and methods to streamline communication and reduce meeting time. Making choices is an active step, and forgetting this can turn life into merely reacting to others' decisions. The essentialist approach involves using choice deliberately, rather than letting default commitments accumulate. When you give up the right to choose, you also grant others permission to make decisions for you. This can create a cycle where obligations grow, making the phrase, "I have to," feel inevitable. Some people respond to helplessness by disengaging, while others become overly active and accept everything offered. The hyperactive pattern may seem productive, but it hides the belief that there is no real choice. A student may follow a prestigious path by default until one decision reveals a more fitting life. Once choice is reclaimed, priorities become clear and start guiding what gets attention this week. Practice saying, "I choose to," when making commitments, so your mind remains aware of the decision. When a request appears, take a moment to decide whether it aligns with the contribution you want to make. Many activities yield little value, whereas a few actions produce significant results. Discernment helps by distinguishing the vital few from the trivial many, then focusing on the essential. Less but better is not about minimalism, but about choosing what truly matters and removing the rest. Without discernment, choice overload and opinion overload can make priorities unclear and decisions weaker. The belief that you can have it all often leads people to treat every opportunity as mandatory. In contrast, a disciplined filter reduces commitments, allowing energy to be directed toward what truly matters. A capable professional keeps adding projects, only to realize at the end of the week that there are more promises than hours. That realization marks the turning point, where exploration becomes purposeful and elimination becomes acceptable. Use the explore, eliminate, and execute cycle as a continuous process, not a one-time exercise. Each week, list the options, identify the vital few, and remove at least one non-essential commitment. Trade-offs are unavoidable, so every yes must come with a no to something else. Extreme criteria make decisions clear by demanding a very high standard before you commit. A simple rule is that anything short of a definite yes becomes a deliberate no. The 90% rule sharpens this by rejecting options rated below 90%. This reduces the chance that half-hearted commitments will slowly crowd out essential work. A company can list every admirable value, but still fail because none guide real choices. When priorities are vague, people say yes to protect status, then resent the cost later. A clear filter makes saying no feel honest because it is tied to contribution, not personality. Use a concise no, then offer a trade, a delay, or a better place to direct the request. Subscribe if you want practical ways to set extreme criteria and defend your calendar without guilt. Refusing new requests is not the only form of elimination. It also involves editing existing commitments with discipline. Editing works by removing parts that do not align with your intent, even if they appear harmless. Uncommitting becomes possible when you ask what you would sacrifice to seize this opportunity again today. That question reveals the sunk costs behind staying in roles, projects, or obligations that no longer matter. Without editing, old yes decisions continue to demand attention, even after the value has disappeared. This is why prioritizing your life is crucial. Otherwise, someone else's agenda becomes the default. A simple pattern is joining one more committee, only to find that the original priority work gets postponed repeatedly. In contrast, editing removes a commitment so the remaining work can be completed with care and speed. Review your current obligations, identify one that no longer earns its place, and remove it with a clear message. Protect the new space by deciding what it is for, so it does not get refilled automatically. Improving execution means stopping the need to force outcomes and instead removing obstacles that create friction. The cycle functions best when the saved time is invested in systems that make essential work easier. A buffer is a deliberate space between planned activities and reality because surprises are certain. This buffer prevents one unexpected event from collapsing the entire day or pushing everything into crisis mode. Protecting the asset means treating sleep as fuel for judgment, creativity, and the ability to connect ideas. An extra hour of sleep enhances problem solving, making rest a strategy for better decisions. Routine is powerful because it removes the need to decide repeatedly and keeps essentials from slipping. A routine turns essential actions into defaults, reducing effort and lowering the chance of backsliding. Build one buffer into the week, then create one routine to protect the most important project. Keep refining the system until execution feels calmer, as obstacles are addressed before they become emergencies. The shift is moving from scattered effort toward deliberate selection that protects the highest contribution. This begins by remembering that choice exists and that trade-offs are real and unavoidable. Discernment separates the vital few from the trivial many, so priorities no longer compete for attention. Applying extreme criteria and clear no decisions ensures new opportunities do not displace what already matters. Editing removes old commitments that no longer earn their cost, ensuring space remains available for essentials. Buffers absorb surprises, sleep improves judgment, and routines make execution easier without constant pushing. Start by naming one essential outcome for the next week and remove one non-essential commitment today. Then apply the same cycle again, as consistency builds trust in your choices over time. Living by design means deciding what matters now, rather than letting defaults pick for you. Subscribe if building fewer but better habits would help you focus on what matters and execute with clarity.